Hey, what is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I is, the good Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with another classic, much needed video for all of my foreigners in the Philippines today. Sincerely hope you guys are blessed and having a good one. Doc is having a great one. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys briefly about how to survive life in the province as a foreigner. Let me say that one more time: how to survive life in the province as a foreigner. Now, many of you may know this, many of you may not. I used to spend the Christmas holiday a lot with my young lady in her province. Her where she was born, of course, was in Masbate. I never been there until we went to our trip to Legazpi. But she grew up in Surigao del Sur. Okay, she grew up in Surigao del Sur. So the first time I ever met her parents and whatnot, I had to travel to the province to spend time with them, and that was during Christmas time. Okay, so I learned earlier on that the province is not for everybody, including myself. Okay, the province is not for all of us as foreigners out there. Yes, there's some positives, but there's probably a lot of things that are going to take a lot of adjusting to. And in this particular video, I wanted to tell you guys how you could potentially, possibly survive life in the province. I don't know how many tips I have. I'm just going to spit them out as they come to me. Handy dandy phone, of course. I wrote down a few things that I think would be important for us as foreigners to know. Now, first things first, one of the hardest things to adjust to as far as being a foreigner and going through life in the province is the cold showers, okay? A lot of us ain't used to that. I promise you, the first time I ever took a cold Philippine shower, it hit me in my soul. Like when that water's so cold and you like and your whole body just like tenses up, craziest feeling ever, man. I almost felt my heart stop. And to an extent that could happen, man. If your body's warm and you get into a cold shower, you could actually have a cardiac arrest or something like that. So just want to make sure you note that. But that's what happened to me. I didn't die, but I felt the chill, okay? So if you guys want to avoid having to deal with the cold showers, make sure that whoever you're staying with in the province has a kettle. You know, a little thing that you put on the stove, heat the water up. And when I say heat the water up, make sure that water is piping hot. Make sure it's boiling hot, okay? That's what I want you to do. Then what you're going to do is you're going to pour that piping hot water into a bucket. Because normally you're going to be taking bucket showers out there in the province. I mean, very rare do Filipinos have shower heads. And if they do in their house, it's probably spitting out cold water. So what you're going to do is you're going to put that boiling, piping hot water into a bucket, and then you're going to turn on the water from the spout or spigot or whatever you call the thing, and you're going to mix in the cold with that hot water until it becomes warm to the touch. Trust me, you don't want to be pouring that ladle of hot, boiling, piping hot water on top of your head, or you're going to singe your skin. Okay? So make sure that you mix in enough cool water to make sure the water is just warm to the touch. Once you mix in that cool water in with that warm water, you should definitely be able to take a suitable bath/shower in the Philippines. But if you don't have access to a kettle or a bucket or all of that stuff, and all you have is, the bucket shower and you got to take your chances, the best time to take a shower in the province is 12 noon. Many of you guys know this, but about 12 noon is when it's normally the hottest anywhere in the world, especially in the Philippines. So hopefully, however hot it is in the Philippines at that time, praying is really hot, it would probably, possibly, maybe, potentially have the water warm enough for you to be able to take a decent shower. Okay? Just wanted to make sure you note that. All right. The second thing that you have to deal with in the province is mosquitoes. Ladies and gentlemen, mosquitoes. I'm telling you, man. Most people sleep in long sleeve shirts and pants and stuff, like sweatpants and stuff like this. And it's true. Like when I first got there, I slept in long sleeve pants, or at least made sure that I was underneath a blanket where the mosquitoes could not get to me. So I'm up in here hot as hell because it gets hot in the Philippines, and long sleeve shirts and pants, sweating my ass off. And then you got to make sure that your ears are covered or something like that, so you don't hear that zip 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 zip, and you smacking yourself in the face and shit, trying to fight mosquitoes and stuff. It happens. It sucks. All right. So that's normally how you're gonna have to dress in the Philippines. But there is also another alternative, ladies and gentlemen. There is another alternative. I don't know what it's called. It's called like a bygone incense. What it is this little curly thing, and you light it, because my lady has it at her house, and her mom used to have a lot of these at the house. But it's like an incense, like that little stick thing that you light up and it smells good. They have like an insect repellent for like mosquitoes. You light it in the room, and normally you're not going to be bothered throughout the whole night, and it lasts for like a long time. That thing burns very, very slow, so it could burn throughout the night, and you might get maybe 5, 6, 10 uses out of it depending on how often you burn it. Okay, so make sure you note that, and I'll try to put a picture here so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. I've used them before. I think the thing is awesome. It really does work. Okay. This is your like your survival kit for life in the Philippines. So I mean life in the province in the Philippines. So y'all need to make sure y'all take note of this. All right. So moving on. Another problem that you have in the Philippines in general is ants. You know, you have food out on the table, ants are quick to get to them. But they also have this ant chalk, like a chalk where you just circle around the food and the ants can't get to it. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. It actually does work. The ants will not go past the chalk line. It's the craziest thing. I've seen it work, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's really interesting, but it does work. So if you ever want to protect your food from having ants get into it, use the ant chalk. I think that's made by Bygone too. Maybe, maybe not. You know, these Philippine brands, boy. I'm telling you, these survival kits for life in the province, life in the Philippines, period. Definitely, definitely comes in handy. All right. Now, with the internet, ladies and gentlemen, that is a toss up, okay? Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, all right? But life in the province, whether you want to believe it or not, it can definitely get expensive, okay? Life in the province can definitely get expensive. The reason that life in the province can get expensive is if you're not prone to eating Philippine food. Um, some people, such as myself, you'll find something that you like that a Filipino may cook for you, like Filipino foods and stuff like that, and you'll eat it all day, every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. You know, till you get sick and tired of it, depending on how long you plan on staying out there in the provincial area. So a lot of people will find something that they like and then they'll continuously eat it. But you know, if you need your foreign amenities or your foreign type foods or your snacks and stuff, and you got to run to your nearest 7-Eleven or your nearest convenience store, I'm telling you, you'll spend $5, $10 on a daily basis just racking up on snacks. All right. Now, I remember when I was with my young lady and her parents out there in the province, they drank water with every meal. And I should have been like that, but sometimes I'm the type of person I need something with some taste. I am, and I've always been that type of person. So if I ever wanted something with some taste, that I'll buy like a 2 liter Coke or like the little glass Coke bottles, which are really cheap, like 17, 18 pesos or something like that. And I'll bring in the Coke to the table. All right. That's what I would bring. And again, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Life in the province is pretty awesome, especially if you're with your girl's family, because they do take care of you. That is really the truth. They will treat you like a guest, a humble guest in their home, and they'll make sure that you're fed 3 times a day. They will take care of you as the foreigner in their house. Normally, they won't ask you to do a thing. If they do ask you to do something, yeah, you might want to be skeptical of that. If they ask you to spend money, that's not how it's supposed to go, okay? So every time I've been with my young lady, they never asked me to do anything. I did it because I wanted to. Like at my girl's house, they like to eat a lot of fish, okay? Isda. They love fish. They'll make fish soup. They'll make a fried pan fish. You know, they will do fish 100 different ways. Feel me? And over time, I'd get tired of fish. So maybe I'll say, yo, let's get some. I'll tell my girl, go get some lechon or some stuff like that. Some lechon kawali, which is like the chopped pork and stuff like that. Or go get a rotisserie chicken or something like that. Go get a couple of them. And, you know, we'll just do that for dinner instead. And that's what she would do. And again, like I said, this is just because, hey, I don't contribute to anything in the household for anything else other than what I want to. So that's what I did. All right. Excuse me. Anywho, Doc's not feeling too well, a little parched in the throat. Anyways, I want you guys to be able to survive life in the province, okay? Life in the province is easy to survive as long as you're willing to adjust. That's the hardest thing for a lot of foreigners to swallow, and it's a hard pill for a lot of Filipinos to swallow. I mean, a lot of foreigners to swallow, because life in the province is not easy. All right. You got to understand that there may not be any air conditioners. You're just going to have to deal with the fans, the little stand fans. Trust me. I've had my fair share of stand fans. Sometimes they blow hard enough to cool you down. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you find yourself in the family living room sweating your ass off. It's just the way that it goes. But yet and still, it's a humbling experience for myself and any foreigner that has ever been to the Philippines province. It's a very humbling experience. Overall, you'll see things that you're probably not used to. You'll see things that will probably never come close to what the city life is like in the Philippines. I've learned over time that going to the province, I can only deal with it for limited amount of times, maybe a couple weeks at a time, because there's a lot that I need access to that I may not have access to when I'm in the province. So if I had to live out there full time, I would definitely have to make some adjustments. But the way that the economy is going, and the way that the Philippines is boosting up and doing their thing, like I said in the previous video, a lot of us might be forced out of the city area and into the province area, which is not a bad thing as long as you're not crying, bitching, or moaning about the travel that you're possibly going to have to take to travel from the province to the city. My boy, shout out to my boy Danny. Danny says he lives in Digos, I believe. And Digos is a pretty small town. I think it has everything that he needs, but like I said, he goes to Davao City every now and again, but he lives in Digos. Again, when you have your own personal vehicle, yeah, it's a little bit easier, but imagine having to travel by motorbike. Imagine trying to travel by bus, or any multi-cabs or something like that. Might be a little bit more difficult than previously imagined. All right, so these are just a couple of tips that you guys can utilize to survive your life out there in the Philippine province. Hope that you found some of this useful. Hope that you take some of this into consideration. If you have any survival tips, leave them in the comment section below. And with that being said, the good doc is officially out. At least na ko pa alam, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.